So before we leap into today's game of the day, I'm just going to have a look at this because this is like a novice checkmate. Catches me out. It still catches me out from time to time where they sack. You see his white bishop there on d3. He comes and sacks it with check. Then the knight moves up. Then the queen moves up, and you've suddenly got no way of getting out of it. So the question is, what's the answer to this sack, this bishop sack? So that's my question for you. Perhaps you can tell me in the comments what you think the correct response to that is. I don't think it's taking it, you see. I think it's possibly moving the g-pawn forward and then allowing his bishop to take that as well. And then you capture that, and then you're left with one pawn, and then the queen goes behind that pawn. And then you walk the king back over to the queen's side to safety. I think that is the only answer to this. Because otherwise it's checkmate. You see, it's checkmate. I mean, you can do anything, but it's checkmate. There's actually no point in doing anything. Okay, so there ends today's little tiny lesson, and now we're going to go to my game of the day, which was really unusual. Enjoy. Let's go for classical.
Kingside Castling. Kingside Castling.
Is he going to lock it up? Thought he might. Just had a feeling he was going to lock that up. Let's do this. Kind of accelerates everything a little bit. Question is, which knight do I then want to keep? I suppose I want to keep the one that's up a bit higher. Yeah. So that can do a little blockadey thing there. Stop that pawn from coming forward any further. I think I'm going to actually try and do a queenside attack, even though he's got nothing there. Let's keep this attack going. I might be able to win this knight, or at least cramp his style quite a bit. I think I've got something here actually. Keep this attack going. He wants to shift my knight. Let's get rid of that free. He had a free pawn there. Don't want him to have that. Let's keep my attack coming.
Check.
I'm just going to pray that I can get rid of this. That my barrage can do something before he gets his attack completed. He is going for a big attack, that's for sure. But he kind of can't move that knight. I'm going to grab that with the bishop so that when I recapture, I'm attacking his king with my knight. two weak pawns that I can grab if he doesn't do anything about it. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a... No, I'm not going to bother with trying to check him. I'm just going to do massive defending. Attacking his rook now. Has my crystal ball method worked? Looking far into the future for an attack. Far in the future with these rooks on his queen's side. Has that materialized? Is it starting to come together? Let's just keep plugging away at it. I'm not even going to bother myself about whether he takes that bishop or not. That's fine. Nope, I don't think he's got anything there. This will block his knight, I think. I think this is the idea.
Yeah, what I mean is he won't want to take, so he's going to move the pawn forward, and that takes away a square that his knight can move to. That's all.
No, now we need to move this rook to here.
Why am I so sure he wouldn't want to take? Because he doesn't want this attack on the queen's side. He doesn't want this extra attack to deal with. Most players don't like, they fear the barrage, the Philidor pawn storm. They fear it.
Yeah. He can take that if he wants. I mean, I know what he's planning. I get the idea.
He's trying to eradicate my knight from defending the h7 so that he can do the check on there with his queen. And h7 check is starting to look inevitable. I'm already starting to think about how I'll be able to walk my king over to the queen's side to escape after that.
Okay, so now he goes there. So now I think what I need to do is just that, really.
It's tempting here to start moving that g-pawn forward onto his queen, because it is a weak pawn at the moment. But I don't think it improves anything. At the moment, anyway, his queen can't come down that h-file any further because of the knight, my knight, which he has now decided not to exchange. And I think that actually helps my position.
I can't take it, can I? Can't take it yet.
Actually, I just want you to look at this position for a minute and ask yourself, how can I take that pawn? What would be an easy way of being able to take that pawn with just one move? It's two moves to get the rooks onto it. I don't really want to move my queen, do I? So what's the easy way, the quick way, moving one piece that enables that pawn to be taken? Just have a look, and I'll give you a clue if you haven't yet got it, is that it will double as an attack. It's a very cool little move. Have you got it yet? Okay, we'll show you. Back to the game.
Oh, can I? Yes, I can. So let's just attack that first. That blocks the access to that pawn now. He hasn't got a check with moving that knight, so that's good.
Yeah, and I was a bit lax there, actually. You should always be looking 2 moves ahead with his knights. Always look 2 moves ahead with the knight. Look at the square it's moving on and draw the flower around it. The big problem at the moment is I am not linking these pieces together. The rook, queen, rook need linking.
Let's rejig. If he comes to that square, he'll lose the knight. If he comes to that forking square, he will lose the knight. to my queen fork. So it'll be a knight fork and then a queen fork. See if he goes for it. Yes, he's gone for it.
Check.
Wow. Wowee. That's a really good one to finish on. Maybe that's my game of the day. I think that's my game of the day because I did something very different there that I don't normally do. Very different method of play, which was just to trust that I would defend this kingside attack, and instead of moving pieces over to the kingside and trying to get ready to defend it, I just had a minimal defense, basically the knights defending that square, the h7 square, and then just slowly, methodically running those pawns up the queen's side. Not the spectacular queenside counter-attack that people so often plan and try to do, but it looked like a completely limp queenside attack. It looked too early, too little. It looked like it wasn't attacking anything because his king wasn't on the queen side. People normally do this. What people normally do is you have a kingside attack on the kingside castle, and then the other person does the long castle, and their opponent uses the pawns as cannonballs in front of the rooks, which are being used as cannons on the queen's side after the long castle. But that wasn't what I was doing here at all. I was attacking a completely empty queen's side, so it just looked really odd and really limp. But actually, it was just poorly defended. Anyway, ultimately, there was always going to be the risk of this checking square. This has been hanging for a long time, that checking square on a7. And that rook, that fork that I offered his knight, was the poisoned bait that was going to cost him his knight. And ultimately, that's definitely going to cost him the game. I think as well that I didn't just win that game because, I got lucky or he played badly. I think he played well for what he was trying to do, but I think he just was totally left fielded by this weird method that I used of attacking an empty queenside, which you'd normally do when he's long castled, and he didn't long castle. So anyway, I think this is a very, very unusual game for me, and I think I've really moved into something new here, which is attacking nothing and then defending minimally. So that's interesting. Now, we started out today at 1966, so a bit worse or about level? A little bit worse. Yeah, because I had a few thrashings today. 1963 has cost me 3 points, including a national master who stole one of those points by beating me. No one should be ashamed of being beaten by a national master. So, great instructive chess game today. Attacking nothing with those cannonballs. Like I say, the Indians, they call the rooks cannons, and so you can think of the pawns as the cannonballs being fired straight up the line. Kind of a nice image. And that's my game for today.